Super Bowl that you figured the way the Chiefs played you guys, that would be a blueprint for other teams moving forward. Have you seen that over the first two games? Any kind of similarities in defensive approach to you and in your offense?
Honestly, I don't think so. Just the way the Jets run their defense, they ran it that way. The way Minnesota runs their defense, they ran it that way. So every team that we've played so far, it's only been two games, but in the two games that we've played, each defense has done what they've done, and they are who they are, and they compete that way. So I don't think I really have seen much of like any similarities with Kansas City. Each team has their own style of defense. So
The Rams style still similar, even though number 99's not in there. They still want to emphasis with the D line coming at you.
yeah, they got some young guys up there, man, that are hungry and that fly around, and they're aggressive, and so we have a lot of respect for them. And then their scheme outside of that, I think, is a little similar to how it was last year and stuff in terms of the coordinator that had left, but very similar in that regard. But the guys up front still bring it. So
After the game, you seem to compliment Flores' scheme a little bit. What is the challenge of that? Is it that it's mentally he speeds you up and then slows you down, and you got to find the soft spots in the zone? You got to find the rushers and who's coming, how many? What's the challenge of that defense?
I just think he does a really good job of disguising some stuff and dropping guys out or whatever. And so, he did a really good job with that. And so in that video, that's all I was trying to say was, just give him his credit. Like, that was a good job that he did there. But nothing more than that. But like I said before in the last couple of questions with, that's what they've shown on tape, and that's what they did in the game, and they did a good job with that, of making it look like one thing and then making it another. And, their guys are all tied together really well. And, it's a bend but don't break kind of defense. And they did a great job for 4 quarters of doing that. And they didn't change it up from what we saw on film. Like, they did it. And they executed really well. That was the biggest difference. So
much was made of your supporting cast over the last couple of years, ad nauseum almost, but now a lot of them aren't going to be there. How do you feel going into a game with some pretty key guys not playing?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it sucks not having your guys and like Debo and Christian and stuff. So it's like, all right, how can we figure out to get the ball to other guys and stuff? But man, we got playmakers. Like I've said that before, we got a really good scheme, great play caller, and some great players that step up in the roles and do their job really well. So for me, man, I still have to do my job in terms of my reads and my progressions, more so than I need to now change the way I think and make sure I'm getting it to this guy or that guy because a couple guys are out. It's not like that. So that's the challenge for me, is how can I continue to be better with my progressions and as a quarterback and handling situations and being as efficient as I can, regardless of who's in. So that's where my mindset is at with this game. And obviously I'd love to have my guys back and playing with them, but that's just how it is with this game sometimes.
When you watched the film from last week, did you feel like you weren't deciphering what you were seeing as quickly as you normally do?
I would say so. There was a couple plays where I dropped back and for me, I just wasn't on top of my progressions and getting off certain reads and holding on to the ball a little bit in certain situations and plays. And so that's where, I had to be better. And it's football. You're not always going to be perfect. There's some plays like that are going to happen. But for me, I think it happened more than I wanted it to. And so, I had to learn from it and grow from it. So, yeah.
You got Eric Sauber a couple times the other day, I think. In case if George can't play this week, what's just kind of your comfort level with him and Jake specifically? Yeah,
I think Sauber has done a great job just coming in and doing his job well and knowing what our offense is, where his landmarks are supposed to be as a route runner. And then in the run game, he does a great job for our guys. And so he did a great job towards the end of the game, 2-minute drill. He was right where he needed to be and caught a couple, crucial catches and stuff. So, and he's got experience. He's played for a while now. So for me as a quarterback, it gives me some comfort knowing that he's been in those situations and he's willing to, understand what we're trying to do and then execute in the heat of the moment. So, and then Jake Tonjes, man, just seeing his progression from even last year till now of knowing our offense and being where he needs to be. And he's a smooth route runner. He's got great hands. So I'm excited for him and his opportunity, man. He's had a great camp and whenever his number's been called upon at practice or in some preseason games, I think he's done a great job. So I'm excited for both of them.
49ers fans historically travel really well to SoFi, at times outnumbering the home fans there. Does it feel like a typical road game when you're in that environment, and does that help the offense when it comes to communication, maybe not having to go on silent counts in certain situations?
Yeah, I think that's huge. For example, like last week going in Minnesota with the environment as it was and stuff, our operation, our cadence and everything is completely different, and how we rep it at practice. So to be able to go down there and have our Niner fans show up and, to be able to use our verbal cadence and stuff, it's huge for us. So we're obviously ready for any kind of situation if we do have to go on silent. But more than anything, man, we're proud to be playing for the Niners, and the faithful show up and have our backs, especially down in LA. So we're excited for that, and it's nice going down there and being able to, hear each other and communicate. It's a big part of the game.
Some of the advanced metrics show that the receivers aren't getting quite the separation thus far that they did last year. What does the film show? And when they're not getting separation, do you have to throw more 50-50 balls? And does that add stress to the whole thing?
I mean, I have no idea, what those metrics are or anything, but I think on film, our guys are doing a good job, and it's just it comes down to execution between both of us, being where they need to be, and then me trusting and laying the ball and throwing the ball accurately time and time again. So, and that's just us being, hard on ourselves, but that's also the standard that we have and that we've shown over the last couple of years. So I think our guys are doing a great job, and whatever the metrics are showing, if they're not getting open or stuff, I don't really know if I believe any of that. I think it's really about, me being efficient, them doing their job, and being on the same page. So, yeah. Thanks.